Welcome back to the Sunday Drive, where imperfection has character. I know what you're going to say. It's been a long time since I uploaded a video to YouTube, and I apologize about that. I'm going to be more frequent with my uploads coming in the future from now on. But today I got something special. We are on our way to the Auburn Auto Auction in Auburn, Indiana. That's a short hop away from where I live in Toledo. I've been going to this since I was probably about 12 years old. Dad and I used to go all the time, and I figured I want to get out there, shoot some content, and also look at some sick classic cars. I have a few things in mind that I'm particularly interested in, so hopefully we can find something. But I'm gonna document some cool stuff and show you the cool things that Auburn has to offer. So let's go ahead and get into it. Well, it didn't take me that long. I knew I'd find one of these. This is primarily what I'm interested in. This is a first generation Oldsmobile Toronado. There's no information on the window, so I'm gonna guess the year probably a 66. That was the first year I believe that these came out. And the cool thing about these cars, if you factor in the absolutely beautiful styling and the pop-up headlights and this beautiful chrome grille, these had front-wheel drive. This was the first mass-produced front-wheel drive American car. And Cadillac followed suit because this shared the platform with the Eldorado of the 1960s. And this one has beautiful redline wheels, a deep burgundy color. Seems to be in very, very good shape. I think Oldsmobile in the 60s, they were for the person who designed them. You design this car and then you leave work and drive home in what you designed. And it's incredible. The Olds Aurora actually took its rear deck lid, the first generation Aurora, took the inspiration from this rear deck lid into its design in the 1990s. And what's cool about these cars is that they have something called the UPP, which is Unitized Power Package. 425, maybe? I know these had a 425 in them. Some of them had a 455 big block. The thing was, it was mounted like a traditional V8 engine, and it was still front-wheel drive, driven to the two front wheels. That's what made these cars so unique. These had about maybe 340, 50 horsepower. Beautiful car. What's also crazy about the Toronado is that this Unitized Power Package platform was used in the GMC motorhome of the 1970s. It also was front-wheel drive, and it also had a 455 big block. So this was a groundbreaking car for the rocket division of General Motors. And I absolutely have fallen in love with these. And the cool thing about them is that they're still relatively inexpensive compared to a lot of classic American cars from the same era. Maybe they haven't found their market yet, they haven't exploded in value yet, but you can get very decent ones for some good money. If you can find them, that is. Oh my gosh. One of my dream cars. One day, I will be pulling into my driveway with a Toronado. Alrighty guys, here we are at the Auburn Auto Auction. This is the first lot. Here's a absolutely mint 1965 Corvette convertible, C2, 396 big block in it, white wall tires. I'm not typically a Corvette person, I will say. I just don't really follow the hype that these have, but you know, I respect the hell out of C1, C2 especially. This is one of my favorite generation of Corvettes. And speak of the double, here's one of its twins. This is also a C2 Corvette. Is this a Stingray? Please tell me it's a Stingray. Oh, it's a split window. I'll be damned. Split window coupe. It is a Stingray. Oh, 4-speed. Interior's in excellent shape. It even smells, has that old leathery smell. God, you can't beat a Stingray like that. What a beautiful, beautiful piece of American engineering. These are one of the Corvettes that I can get behind. Obviously, here's some old school cool. You can never go wrong with the 1965 Mustang convertible. It's a beautiful red color with the white walls. Legendary 289 small block Ford. Always wanted to go back in time, and I had to go back to one certain time period. One of those time periods would be when they launched the Ford Mustang. You can never go wrong with it. It's practically America's sweetheart. This is something you certainly don't see every day. This is a 99 Shelby Series 1. What's cool about these is that this was a partnership with General Motors. Two-door roadster convertible. And what's unique about this is that the hood's not open, but under the hood is a modified 4-liter North Star V8 out of the Oldsmobile Aurora of all cars. That engine actually had racing pedigree, and it also found its way into the Shelby Series 1, and you could tell that this is borrowing some parts from General Motors, because you can see the door handles off the Aurora. And you also have kind of a GM style dash with a switch gear from a General Motors product, but nonetheless still very rare and seriously an impressive car. And look at the cowling on the front. Look at how steep that air dam is. It's incredible. And I think it's hilarious to me that this uses a highly modified baby North Star engine. I mean, you don't really find the Aurora anymore as is, but let alone finding one of these is damn near impossible. So this Porsche is a 1993 911 RS America. One of just, I think, around 700 examples produced. Yeah, 701. 5-speed manual with that tail on the back that I absolutely love. If I had to get one generation 911, it'd be a 993 with this tail. This is a pristine example. Lightweight, track ready, and going to bring some hefty, hefty money. But you can never go wrong with the 911. Oh, one day. One of the most legendary Cadillacs ever made, a 57 Seville Eldorado. If you had one of these in the late 50s, you had made it. One of only 2,100 examples. 325 horsepower, 365 cubic inch. One of the most beautiful designs for any American car ever made, and this one is absolutely pristine with the gold emblems. Kind of a rose gold with gold emblems, plenty of chrome, white wall tires, vinyl top. Jeez, it's a rolling art form. You can never beat a Cadillac like this one. My God, these are beautiful. And the second wing, something that immediately caught my eye is this International 1210. You never see these international pickup trucks, ever. They are so hard to come by, let alone to find one in this exquisite of condition. And this thing is sick. It's basically a Travelall with the rear portion removed, and bench seats, no seat belts. That's awesome. These things are criminally underrated. I've always had a soft spot for these 1210s and Travelodges and Scouts. Those of you that know me know that I'm a up-and-coming international harvester fanatic. And here's the sticker C8 crew cab. That is probably a 345 cubic inch. That's probably what they came with from the factory, but I think they also had a 392 option, but 345 5.7 liter maybe. Nonetheless, that's a sick truck. But what also is sick is this. This thing is so long. I'm in 0.5 mode and it barely fits into the frame. You can never beat a 70s Lincoln Continental Mark V. Look at the seats. Literally, when they say that you're driving your living room down the road, they're not kidding. And it even has the pinstriping. Porthole window. Vinyl top, the Landau top, excuse me. White walls. Of course, the Lincoln emblem with the hideaway garage door headlights, where the grill is literally 20 feet in front of where you're sitting and you're driving it. In the center of these Lincolns, they specialized in putting a Cartier clock in the center of the dash. And I think that's the coolest thing ever. See if I can get a picture if it has the clock. There's your instrument panel with that faux wood. Oh my God, I love it. I love it so much. I don't need it because it won't fit in my garage, but one day I will have a gigantic land yacht like this. Make our way over here. We have a C1 Corvette. It's a very early C1 Corvette. Looks like an old Jag, maybe? Yeah. And this is something I have a lot of interest in. This is a 1963 330, otherwise known as a Dodge Dart. For some reason, I absolutely love this generation of Dodge sedans. I cannot tell you why. No, my grandfather had a Dart like this with a 225 and a 3-speed. But look at that interior. It has the original equipment in it too, when it was a patrol car. Dodge was putting out some pretty bitchin' patrol cars at the time. I think this is a 1950 or 51 Ford Tudor. Let me double check. Love this kind of maroon color. Oh yeah. 1951 Tudor custom sedan with the legendary Ford flathead. You can't beat that. These things were used as police cars in the 40s and 50s. They were used to run moonshine. I always think of the moonshine era whenever I see one of these cars. This one is incredibly tasteful. 3-speed on the tree. Very well preserved. I've always loved these things. I feel like this is one of the cars that really mainstreamed Ford's V8 use in their sedans and put their V8 on the map. Love the shape and design of these old Tudors. It'd be a fun car for the weekend. Just drive around town, take you shows. Yeah, very cool. And over here's an old Buick Skylark. Oh, convertible too. Very cool. I like this kind of aquamarine color. These Buicks from the 60s were really kind of, I don't want to say overlooked, but they're kind of forgotten a little bit. If it's not a GS or anything like that, everybody knows Buick for the Grand National, but I always like these two. Skylark convertible, 350, Buick, small block, legendary, powertrain, wheel and tire setup looks awesome. Very cool. Not too keen on the fact that it's convertible, but somebody will buy it and enjoy it. Over here, 97 911 Targa. I've always liked these Targa tops. That is so cool. It's all glass. Love the look of these old 911s. The 993 is one of my favorite generations of 911. It's an auto. It's still okay though. It's still a 911. A little bit of wear and blemishing on the seats, and they're cracking a little bit, but you can bring those around. Absolutely love this generation 911, this 3.6 liter air cooled. Now this is speaking my language. Sublime, I want to say a 1970 Cornet. Oh yeah, 1970 Cornet hardtop 440 Magnum. This is one of the sexiest American muscle cars of the 1970s. This was really before also the Malaise era hit, so it has big power, big block engine, no real choking from any emission standards yet, but this was really kind of the swan song for Dodge. That's sublime color too. Just incredible. This is a Toyota Land Cruiser. What year is this? Ooh, 93 with the 5.3 Vortex swap. That's excellent. Very good shape too, and you know this thing will go a million miles or more. These things are absolute tanks. And it's a stick too. I would definitely be having this over a Land Rover. Not really my style, but there are a ton of people who follow these things within a cult following, and next to that, Oldsmobile 442 Cutlass. Is it a Hearst? Oh, it's the official pace car. 54th Annual Indy 500 pace car. That's incredible. Look at the seats, too. Oh my gosh. These are proper muscle cars from GM. Good performers for the time, too. It's probably got the rocket engine under the hood. I don't know much about Oldsmobile, but that's why I'm looking at trying to find a Toronado, maybe eventually, but that's incredible. And right here, one of my favorite generations of Chevy pickup, C10, 1971, with the flare side bed on Redline wheels. Redline tires, I mean. Look at the bed, too. Impeccable shape. Oh, what a perfect street rod. I would drive the wheels off of this truck. Just look at that bed. It's beautiful. Short bed, flare side, step. Bucket seats. These are so cool. This is such a cool truck. See what the window sticker says. Restored 402 big block, 320 horsepower, which may not seem like a lot today, but remember, when you're in a truck that doesn't weigh too much with no weight over the rear axle, these tires will spin like crazy. God, what a sleek looking ride. Always had a thing for these C10s, particularly in a street setup like this one. And here we have old Dodge Charger. This is a 67 Charger with the vinyl sport hardtop. Sitting on Goodyear Eagles 383. Mopar probably. Red on red interior. That's awesome. Definitely taking a lot of design cues from the AMC Marlin, or maybe the Marlin took design cues from this. I really don't know. But I've always had a thing for these two with the kind of the fastback sloped roof. Just overall, such a sexy design with the single light bar going across the back. The vinyl top seems to be in excellent shape too. I know that these can be kind of hard to keep up, but God. Love me an old Dodge. The more times I get exposed to these things, the more I'm tempted to make a very, very bad purchase decision. Something similar to the truck I have in my garage, my old International. This is a Dodge, a legit Dodge Power Wagon, I believe. This looks like, I don't know what this was used for, but I love the way it's faded, dented, scratched. It's been used and used well. Explosives in the back, and it's out of Pennsylvania, so maybe something relating to coal mining. This truck probably had a pretty rough life, but I love the way it's not completely trashed, but it's definitely shown wear and tear a lot, similar to my International. 230 cubic inch inline 6-cylinder 4-speed manual transmission, below dash heater, a gigantic front bumper. With a huge winch on the front. That's incredible. This is awesome. I love Power Wagons. And here's something else that sticks out to me. This is a 66 Dodge Corvette 440. Not a true Hemi, but still a 440 big block, coupe with the vinyl top. And my dad actually had a 1967 Corvette that was handed down to him as his first car. I think his was, I don't know if his was a coupe. I think it was a sedan, but it had a 440, similar interior. But Dad said that when he had his Corvette, obviously, being it was his first car, it was completely trashed. There are pictures of his two older brothers, my older uncles, actually standing in the rocker, because by the time that they got rid of it, before they gave it to my dad, it was completely rusted out. But I've always had a thing for these Dodge Corvettes. I think God's telling me to buy an old Mopar. Here's something that's kind of lesser known. This is a 1962 Imperial. This was really, I think that Imperial was set above the Chrysler division, purely based on luxury. Long, comfortable car. Drive around town on a Saturday night. Look at how long this thing is. I'm standing right here at the back bumper, and the front end's in a different zip code. It's incredible. My best friend's neighbor has an Imperial. I think it's a 60, hard top, red with a white top. Same interior setup, push button, gear selector. Look at that. Look at the steering wheel. Look at the ergonomics of the steering wheel. That is so cool. And you have your climate control over there. This is a perfect car to take to car shows. But my God, you're gonna have trouble parking it. Absolutely beautiful. You never really see Imperials anymore. This is, oh, it's a 413. Need big power to move something this big. This is an absolutely perfect example of Chrysler's heyday. Here we got the pinnacle of American luxury in the 50s and 60s. This is a 60 Cadillac Series 62 sedan. Kind of a silver over white and silver. God, these are... You had one of these in the 60s or any time before that, you'd made it, there's no question. I mean, look at the design of the fins on this thing. Absolutely beautiful. And Detroit steel. Pure cubic inches. It's about 45 feet long. Here's where the fin extends. Slant back glass. Look at the glass. Look at the way it's curved. Even the way the glass is curved into the back window. It's incredible. And the wraparound glass too. The engineering, it's just beautiful. And you even had the antenna that came up out of the quarter panel. But my gosh. Always had a soft spot for these old Cadillacs. And right here next to it is kind of a similar sibling. Well, not directly, but this is a 59 Bonneville Sport hardtop. Look at the mid-century Constellation stitched into the seats. Look at admire the interior color combination. All the chrome switches and dials and those mid-century constellations. And of course, can never forget the fins. Bonneville badge stamped on the side. What an absolutely gorgeous car. Beautiful Jag E-Type coupe. This is probably a 4.2. Yep, XKE 2+2. Oh my God. V12, never mind. That's incredible. Look at that. Look at that styling. You don't really see the coupe at all. This is a absolutely gorgeous example. Of course, it's a stick too. This is the one car that I'm so tall I can't fit in, but still, a lot of respect for the E-Type. Arguably one of the most beautiful cars ever made. And right over here, throwing it back to the American Muscle, is 72 GTO. And it's kind of gold color. It's got the ram air intakes on the front. I've always liked these body style of GTO. This is right before the Malaise era, so this has the 455 Pontiac engine in it. Love the interior color though. 4-speed or probably a 3-speed. GTO 455 high output with the dual exhaust dump on the back. Honeycomb wheels. Beautiful. Gorgeous car. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Here it is. Oh my God, I love these things. This is my guilty pleasure. This is a 82 Porsche 928 with the 4.5 liter all aluminum V8. Maybe 219 horsepower. It's a automatic, but that will not stop me from buying one of these. But look at the seats. Look at how comfortable that looks. And these are really controversial cars. And it's easy to see why. But regardless, God, I love these things. I think the overall appeal with these cars is that they were supposed to be the kind of next big luxury grand touring coupe, you know, the V8 engine up front with really, really, really soft bucket seats. And I think that they were really trying to hone in the fact that you could have more than a 911. Bring a more favorable product than what they had with the 911, because this is front engine, so it's following the 924, 944. And that's why these things are partially so controversial, but I understand why people think that these things are kind of the ugly duckling, but I absolutely love these things. This is a 76 Pontiac Trans Am, legendary styling with the honeycomb wheels. Very deep honeycomb wheels, I might add. Of course, you got to have the bird on the front with the shaker hood, the 400 cubic inch, 6.6 liter V8. I like that interior color, almost kind of a mocha. This is the one that came before the obvious popular Smokey and the Bandit Trans Am. So you have a different, kind of more squared off front end. But regardless, even though it was in the middle of the Malaise era, it's still a Trans Am. And I still really want one. If I bought one of these cars, the first thing I would do is just get the T-tops off, which this one doesn't have. But look for one with T-tops, buy it, bring it home, and then get every single Aerosmith 8-track I could possibly get for this car. Legendary. Next to that, we have a 60 Chevy Impala sitting on the white walls. What an absolutely gorgeous car. You can never go wrong with one of these. This has the 283 cubic inch V8, so it's a few years before the 409 big block. Look at this thing. Perfect boulevard cruiser for a summer night. And this is something that I didn't even know that these existed. This is a Chevy Nova Yenko Deuce, 1970, 360 horsepower, 350 Chevy small block. So that's very respectable for the time. And the cool thing about this is you get these cool LT1 stripes and badges with the Deuce on the front. And of course the legendary Yenko stripe on the side, chubby rubber. What else you get is a hood-mounted tachometer. That's incredible. Malibu Estate Wagon. 402 big block in it. It's one of 12 built. SS wheels on it. Green interior. That's pretty funny. My friend Hayden would get a kick out of that. And it's a 4-speed. Are you kidding me? Grocery getter with a 4-speed positive traction. You could seat the entire family and the dogs and the luggage. Look at how much room's back here. Fold down third row seats. You just pile in the back. No seat belts. Go have the time of your life. I love these wagons. One of my all-time favorite American cars. This is a 66 Lincoln Continental convertible. 462 big block. 340 horsepower. One of the most beautiful cars that Lincoln has ever made. And it even has the suicide doors. That's awesome. Look at the interior. Look at that dash cluster. Let me go on the other side to get a better look when I have to walk 17 miles around the back. Oh, it's beautiful. I want this so bad. Look at that dash cluster. These things are incredible. You have the Lincoln ornament on the front. Beefy front end. Hood opens that way. What was this car? Oh, it was owned by a diplomat in DC at the time. That explains the spotlight and the antennas and everything. Beautiful car. And the crazy thing about these convertibles, you can get them with a hard top. This entire top folds out as one piece. It's really spectacular to watch. For technology being in the 1960s, it's truly incredible. This is such an incredible car. And right here we have a Studebaker Avante. You never really see these cars. I don't really know much about these things. Very tasteful interior with a 4-speed. White ball shifter. In very good condition. I don't know what engines were in these two, but I know that these are kind of rare birds.